Turning now to Brazil, where there is new scrutiny on former President Jair Bolsonaro after thousands of his supporters stormed the country's democratic institutions on Sunday in scenes eerily similar to January 6th right here in this country. Bolsonaro is currently in Florida, and his advisors have met with people close to former President Trump. Christina Ruffini is following all of this for us in Washington. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, Vlad. Well, some U.S. lawmakers are already calling for Bolsonaro to be expelled from the U.S., but on Monday, the former president tweeted a picture of himself in a hospital gown in a hospital bed in Orlando, saying he's being treated for injuries to do with an old stabbing, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
To an American audience, what happened in Brazil Sunday might seem eerily familiar. An angry mob, false accusations of a stolen election, and incalculable damage to national institutions, as well as the government they represent. The protests in the capital, Brasilia, were in support of former right-wing populist President Jair Bolsonaro, who lost the presidential election last year to leftist Lula da Silva.
Terrific man. He's done a fantastic job.
Sometimes called the Trump of the tropics, Bolsonaro was an acolyte of the former U.S. president, both in manner and strategy, making false accusations of election fraud and calling his opponents criminals.
In Brazil, it's gone beyond the Bolsonaros.
He's also received strong support and, as the Washington Post reports, even advice from Trump ally Steve Bannon.
You use these machines, use the judiciary to shut us down in the media, and we're not going to tolerate it.
Bolsonaro is currently in Florida, having left Brazil for a gated Orlando vacation home just 2 days before President Lula's inauguration. As events unfolded, he denied encouraging the attacks, tweeting that while peaceful protests are part of the democratic process, destruction and invasion of public buildings are not.
There's no question extremism is a factor in Brazilian politics, just as it is here.
Mike McKinley was a career diplomat and served as ambassador to Brazil in the Trump administration.
There's a strong foundation for Bolsonarismo, as they're calling it, to have a second life across the coming years.
Is Bolsonarismo the Brazilian equivalent of Trumpism?
It absolutely is.
As for Bolsonaro himself, the U.S. State Department says it has not received any requests for action from Brazil.
Brazil's democratic institutions have our full support.
But members of Congress, including Texas Representative Joaquin Castro, are already objecting to Bolsonaro's U.S. stay.
The United States should not be a refuge for this authoritarian who has inspired domestic terrorism in Brazil.
Now, the State Department wouldn't comment directly on Bolsonaro's case, but said in general, diplomats are here under a 30-day visa, and after that time period, he would have to reapply to DHS in order to stay in the country. Vlad?
To be continued. Christina, thank you very much.